Today, in this session for interview preparation, we are going to deal with three topics. The three topics has a common link, and that common link is that this all the three topics are related to issues of women, or more specifically, empowerment of women. So it is a very important topic because uh, these developments are very significant and it has happened very recently, so you must be completely aware. So what the three topics I'm going to deal today are basically to help you get a clear uh, pathway for today's class. So the first topic we will be discussing will be the Women Reservation Act right now. Second will be the Nobel Prizes. Again, Nobel Prizes, this time the prize for peace and the Nobel Prize for Economics are topics which are directly related to women. And be mindful of this fact, considering whatever background you are from. If you are a science graduate or you are a graduate of medicine, or for that matter, even for technical subjects like engineering, it's important for you people, whoever is going to face the interview, and if the Nobel Prize is somewhat related to your background, I mean to say that subject of the Nobel Prize, say for example chemistry or physics, or for that matter medicine, if those things are relevant for your background, then do prepare them. And know the names, who are the recipients, and know what have they gotten it for, like that related to that COVID vaccine and RNA vaccine. So all those things you might be asked, that is actually outside the domain here. It will be difficult to, I can handle it, but the problem is that that is not relevant for everybody. Interview board will not ask those questions to all. Here we are dealing with the general themes that you might get in interview, but for the people with subject matter knowledge, it is important for you to understand those things properly, because it will be important, and because the interview is happening just after the month when Nobel Prizes are awarded. Nobel Prizes are awarded in the month of October. Your interview will be in November for that case. So Nobel Prizes become very important, not merely from the nomenclature point of view. That means you will not merely be asked about who got it. In fact, you might be forgiven for not able to recollect the names, but you won't be forgiven if you are not able to recollect the topic. What was their work on? Why they got? For example, somebody of a student of English literature, you should know who got the literature Nobel this time, because it has been a very unique uh, awardee this time. His name, he is from Norway. Norway. His name is pronounced something like Jon Fosse. It's written as, so he didn't write in English language, but he even didn't write in the prominent Norwegian language. He wrote in a local language of Norway, but his writings are quite popular there, quite you can say influential there, and that's in that not only Norway but all continental Europe. And it is an accepted fact that Nobel Prizes are mainly West-led and West-driven you can awards. So there is an allegation that the West tries to mm, promote its values, its ideas of human rights through awarding Nobel Prizes, especially for peace, to people who are dissidents in certain governments who the West do not like. Because that we will come in due course when we'll discuss the Nobel Peace Prize. So without further ado, let us start with the Human Reservation Bill. So Women Reservation Bill. Women Reservation Bill. So this bill has also been known as Nari Shakti Vandan. Now, do not get overwhelmed by fact. You just need to memorize or just need to know certain facts about the bill. Like, when was the first time a bill on women reservation brought in? First time such a bill was brought in. I'm sure by now many of you must be aware the first time it was brought in was in the year 1996. So it has been a 27 years long journey. So 1996 it was brought, then it could not get passed. And by latest, I think it was in 2010 it was brought. So there then also it could not be passed. But this time we are lucky to have passed such a historic bill. So what is the changes that the bill has brought about? So is it a merely ordinary bill? No, it is through a constitution amendment bill. All these things are minor nitty-gritty, but you should, as a student of polity, be very aware that how. Through 128 Constitutional Amendment Act, this was brought in by bringing in a new provision in the Constitution of India. What is the new provision that has been introduced in the Constitution of India? It is Article 330A. And Article 330, as you might be aware, deals with reservation of seats for SC and ST in Lok Sabha. And it is an, you can say, a corollary to that. So what is it? What does it say? It says that this article now provides for reservation. How much? 1/3 or 33%. 1/3 of the total seats for women. Now be very careful. It is only for Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies, and the Legislative Assembly of the National Capital Territory of Delhi. So you might be asked in interview, is it applicable to Rajya Sabha? Your answer will be no. So in this regard, you should know certain facts. Like currently in Lok Sabha, we have 82 women MPs. That is roughly equal to 15% or 15.26% to be exact. In Rajya Sabha, we have right now 31 women MPs. Okay, so Rajya Sabha also it is quite it's not ideal. It's quite low. You might again a very trivial question. Do you know which country has the highest women representation? When doing research on this, I was really taken aback. The answer is Rwanda. All countries. It has 61%. Now, has it meant that true women empowerment has come about in Rwanda? The answer, unfortunately, is no. You might be aware that there was a historical event in Rwanda called Rwandan genocide, where the two groups of people in Rwanda, two primary ethnic groups, the Hutu and there were basically two primary ethnic groups in Rwanda. Let me just confirm it. Hutu and Tutsi. So Hutu and Tutsi in the 90s, they had this bloody war. And after that, it was a bloody civil war. But after that, when reconciliation happened, they thought that they should give more women in power so that the men who are so prone to fighting, such events do not happen. But in reality, like in Panchayat, we have this idea of Panchayat Patis. Have you heard about this Panchayat Patis? Like, what does it mean? It means that the women, be mindful, Panchayat, we have 33% reservation for women. It's long back. In fact, in many states, we have more than 33%. In Assam, it is around 50-51%. So in spite of that, those women representatives, it is found out by many surveys that not all, but many are merely the puppets of their husbands. So they are kind of a pseudo representative. So such things should be taken into account while giving reservation, because the idea basically is women empowerment. You are giving political power to women not merely for the sake of giving a gendered idea of the polity, but to actually empower the half of your population. And in this regard, we can very well draw what Joseph Stiglitz said about empowerment. Joseph Stiglitz, what did he say about empowerment? True empowerment comes only when you give power to power with and power within. Basically means that the woman or the deprived people, it can be, you can put any deprived people in this category, because women are one of the primary deprived people or deprived groups in the world. So when can you bring true women empowerment? When at first you give them power, that is, we are giving it through this bill, then they must realize this power within. They must realize, they must develop collective voice within them, or they must realize that yeah, they have the ability to change things. And then power with it means collective power. So they must be able to wield that power in a collective way. Then only true empowerment happens. Now we are merely giving this is just a way. So this is again an opinionated question which you might face in interview. Like, do you think that we have this women reservation bill? So do you think that true empowerment can be realized by women empowerment bill? You say that yes, this is a way, but this is not the only way, or this is not enough. This is one of the steps, but there are more steps to be taken. Like at the social level, at the psychological level, you need to take many steps so that it doesn't realize, or it doesn't end up becoming something like what is happening in many panchayats, like panchayat patis and all. So having said that opinion, like having put that opinion part apart, now going further to the provisions of the bill. So one third, as I told you, 33% reservation for women under Article 330A. Then second important point, it is the first important point. Second important point is that there is a quota within quota. What is quota within quota here? It means that there will be reservation of women within the SC and ST quotas. Right now we have certain seats are allocated to SCs and STs, and among them also there will be seats which will be allocated to women. So so this will be on the rotational basis. Actually, the bill also has something called a sunset clause. Sunset clause. What is a sunset clause? It means that there is a definite end point to this policy. Reservation is a policy which has to be implemented through this bill. So what does it say? That the reservation will be for a period of 15 years, and seats reserved for women will be rotated. It's not like, say, the Guwahati Lok Sabha constituency has been given women for women representative this time. This is not a permanent thing. We find that there will be rotation of seats. And so the seats reserved for women will be rotated, and the sunset is 15 years. So, and how will this rotation happen? It will happen after every delimitation exercise. Delimitation we have already covered in our earlier video. So if you have any difficulty, you can refer to that video. So under Article 82, we have provision for delimiting the seats of Lok Sabha, and under Article 173, we have for state legislative assemblies. So through delimitation, we will try to identify the seats which will be reserved for women, and then we will exercise. So That is the basic framework, but the bill does not actually specify right now that which will be identified as which seats will be identified as reserved. So those things will happen only after delimitation. And Amit Shah clearly said that nothing will happen before 2024. Again, you might be asked, will this be applied in 2024 election? Your answer will be no. There has to be a delimitation exercise, and delimitation exercise can only be conducted after the census. Census will happen, then delimitation will happen. Now, there is some gray area in the bill, like here it is said that, again, that is a nitty-gritty, again, that is something for the legal experts to interpret it. But from my limited understanding, I can say that there is certain gray areas, like they have said that delimitation for this purpose. Now, for your information, I will refer you back to the fact that we had this 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, which froze the delimitation exercise to 2000. 1976, it was frozen to 2000. And then this freeze was further continued till 2026. So right now, what is the position of delimitation? The delimitation of the parliamentary as well as assembly seats will happen post the first census after 2026. Now, here it says this delimitation is for the entire country. Now, if that is interpreted in a different way, like there can be delimitation for women in a different manner. So that again puts a question mark on when it will be implemented. So every party or every political interest are interpreting it in their own way, but government is more or less saying that we should be having it by 2029 election. Okay, so that is how things are at this ground. But be mindful, census is a long drawn activity. It requires a bit of time. You need at least 2 to 3 years to complete it, and so it will be not something that we will see very shortly. And one more fact, in the first Lok Sabha, that is after the 1950-152 general election, the percentage of women were just merely 5%. So now we have progressed, but not to that extent. So we are bringing in this bill. And one of the most contentious point, like you might be asked, this bill had been started, or the early drive for this bill was started in 1996 itself. Why has it taken so long? It has taken so long because of politics only, because every party has their own different vote banks to cater to. So like parties like who are dependent on caste-based vote banks, they want more reservation for, you can say, OBC women. In fact, parties like RJD, parties like SP, they insisted on bringing in OBC reservation. OBC reservation or OBC supporter was considered as one of the significant reasons why this bill could not be passed for so many years. So that having taken aside, or that having been totally, you can say, put, you can say that is not an issue right now. So we are able to pass the bill. That is a very bright spot in our, you can, constitutional history. So it's a very good step that the parliament has taken. This was done in the very first session of the new parliament, in a new parliament building. So it was quite encouraging. So that's it for this topic, or this development related to women reservation bill. You don't need to go any further on this. The basic changes are on the ground, and there will be analytical issues, or there are various newspaper articles coming on this. Like main issue is regarding its implementation. So after the exercise of delimitation, if it is to be undertaken, then again that means that it is not something we can foresee in the very near future. But still, you have to appreciate the fact that it's a step in the right direction. Okay, so that is with regard to women's reservation. Thank you.